Purbayan Chatterjee is one of the top sitar maestros of the world. He's also gained recognition for his unique blending of traditional Indian classical music with contemporary popular music from across the globe. Chatterjee performs Saturday at the University of Houston Student Center Theater in what's called From Bandish to Bandits, a classic cool journey. He's here with us in studio this morning, along with renowned tabla player Ojas Adhiya. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Very good morning.
Good morning. It's truly wonderful to be here.
Well, very glad to have you both with us.
Pleasure to
this
be
morning.
here. Thank you.
Purbayan, let me start with you. How would you describe Indian classical music to someone who has never heard it?
So, in a nutshell, the roots of Indian classical music stem from what is called Drupad. It's a very spiritual, very divine kind of music, comes with a lot of peace and a lot of melodic depth. But it's also a kind of music which has really evolved over many, many centuries, actually thousands of years, to come to this point where it is today, where it has kind of, mixed and kind of adopted many other genres, and there are inflections and there are rhythmic kind of syncopations which have come into it, which makes it very exciting, very intellectually stimulating, and it's improvisational in nature. And yet it comes with a rigorous discipline. So it's like a game of chess.
Is that how you would describe what you're presenting to Houstonians during your concert on Saturday?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to present a game of chess which is fun, exciting, and which won't last for hours and hours. So
let's talk about the instruments that you two play. Just talk to us about the tabla. What should we know about it?
So, tabla is a very, very age-old instrument, and this was, popularized many years back. And it has a uniqueness. The tabla is made up of a rosewood, teak wood, which is, called tabla. And the bass drum is made up of a brass, which is called the baya or the daga. And both together is known as tabla. And now it's used definitely for Indian classical music as well as for different genres like, say, semi-classical, for jazz, for blues. For, there are different genres in Indian music itself called ghazals and thumris and a lot more.
Could you give just a brief example, like a little riff of something, maybe a traditional rhythm that we might hear?
We have a musical language, a tabla language for this. So it's supposing if I'm having a conversation with Purbanji, I'll be like, if I'm asking him, hey Purbanda, how are you? So I'll be like, Dha, Terikiditha, how are you? And he'll reply like, welcome to Houston, dear Ojas. So this is a normal conversation.
You kind of can do that with your voice about as well as the instrument. It's impressive. Let's talk about the sitar. Where and how did it develop?
So the sitar itself stands for the melting pot that India is. So the mother instrument is the veena, which is the age-old instrument which we had used in this musical form called Drupad, and which came down to us, from the Vedas. And then we had, the Persians come to India and the Mughals, and we had a great saint called Amir Khusru, who then took the veena and kind of broke it down and kind of changed the structure to make this very lyrical, this very, very, very versatile instrument, and which has also undergone several modifications after that to fit into like jazz, into pop, and of course people like Ravi Shankar ji has, in collaboration with the Beatles, has taken this music to the world.
And I guess I'm curious about where we find it in popular music today. We were talking about classical music, but and you've certainly sort of brought it into the popular realm a little bit more. But can you give some examples of it beyond? You mentioned the Beatles.
Of course,
yeah.
But I would like to say, like, for instance, Ed Sheeran,
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran recently made an album called Play, which he's just launched a few days ago, where one of my students has played the sitar, a girl called Megha Rawut. And Ed Sheeran has become a good friend of mine. We're constantly talking, and he's always thinking about using Indian sounds. So all of these people, a lot of these people, next, in the month of November, I'm playing with this Grammy-winning artist called Stephen Wilson. And he's a music producer from England. I'm doing some work with Mark Lettieri, who's a very well known guitar player, part of the band Snarky Puppy, who I've also played with. So a lot of the jazz people, a lot of the even it's gone into hip hop. It's gone into a lot of the mainstream genres today.
Well, you're both here. Your instruments are here. We have microphones here. What do you say? Would you like to play something for us?
Let's jam.
Yes.
Let's play. Let's play something. I'll say what I played later on, because a lot of people know this tune, especially those who are Indian and those who have seen this, from a very popular web series called Bandish Bandits, and where Shankar Mahadevan asked me to play this song. So I'm gonna play this.
All right, take it away.
So it goes like this. Garaj garaj aaj megha ghanan ghanan chhayo re damak damak chamake bijuri kat hari tu raj aayo re. So it describes the rains, and there's this whole series in web series which has become really popular, and it talks about a musical family, a gharana as it's called, and this song is one of the. It's almost become like an anthem in India now.
What's the song called?
It's called Garaj Garaj. It's the sound of the thunder.
Ah,
Yeah. It sounds like the thunder, doesn't it?
yeah, a little bit. Well, you've certainly got that sort of percussive
like
kind
that.
of thing. Yeah.
And people will have a better idea if they come to the concert and
Yeah.
hear us improvise it on the song a little more
Yeah. Tomorrow we're playing at the University of Houston
at 6 p.m.
At 6
So
p.m. and we're really going to bring Garaj Garaj, and hopefully maybe we might even bring some rain.
Wouldn't mind that, actually. A little bit. We're always a little twitchy around here about too much
know.
rain.
I know. Just enough to cool it down a little.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're known, Purbayan, as being both a master of Hindustani classical tradition as well as I said, an innovator that brings in jazz and pop and world music influences. How do you balance preserving tradition with experimenting and pushing boundaries?
Look, tradition is like DNA. So to keep it strong and to keep it good, you've got to make sure that there is enough things coming into the mix for succeeding generations. Just like genetic material, when you try to keep something very kosher and something very kind of free of external influence, then the genetic quality of it can degrade over time. So we want to keep it fresh. We want to keep within the parameters of tradition. We try to push the envelope so that we can find new ground. We can start new dialogue, because that's what the world is about.
Ojas, what is more fun for you? The traditional or the boundary pushing, or is it a little bit of both?
I started learning at a very young age from my guru Shri Mritangaraj. So he always suggested me to keep the authenticity of the Indian classical music along with the improvisational music, whatever I am doing. So it could be a solo tabla, solo repertoire, or it could be accompanying with Purbayan Chatterjee, and most of our music is all improvisational. So I like to play with different genres of music, different artists, and have that challenge of coming up with something new and some different ideas every time I play.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but since you mentioned how much of this can be improvisational,
Yeah.
would you care to improvise a little bit right now and just see
Absolutely.
what happens?
Why
And
not?
so here's the thing. Why don't we pick up like a jazz kind of a jazz standard, almost something which has also become an anthem. We'll pick up Chick Corea's Pain.
Right, of
And then we'll
course.
bring in, because we're both fans of jazz music, and I've met Chick Corea many times. I've played with people like Herbie Hancock and
Awesome. I have played with John McLaughlin,
John
the
McLaughlin.
maestro John McLaughlin.
These are some big names,
Yeah.
without question. Yeah.
Yes. So we'll pick up Chick Corea's Pain,
Yeah.
which is a well-known enough piece, and we'll try to improvise on it the Indian way. How about
Sure.
that? Okay.
Of course.
That's great.
Yeah.
That was really fun. What excites you most about the future of Indian classical music?
I think what is most exciting is that in India there's a newfound love and respect for all things which are quintessentially Indian, and we are a young country and an old culture, so it's a very interesting dichotomy, and I think we're coming of age to a point where we have gone through an extensive influence of global culture, of Western pop culture, and we are at a point where there's a lot of foreign bands, like Guns N' Roses, like Ed Sheeran himself, like Shawn Mendes. They've all come to India, and we have the Lollapalooza. I'm playing in this year's Lollapalooza in India, in Mumbai. But there is a newfound love and respect for our culture and our tradition, and that is very exciting to see, because what are we if not aware of where we come from?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I see so many youngsters coming for our concerts in India, everywhere in India, and that really shows, the intensity to learn and, understand Indian classical music, which is very important.
Purbayan Chatterjee on sitar, Ojas Adhiya on tabla. You can catch them this Saturday evening at the University of Houston Student Center Theater. There's more information at iaahouston.org. Thank you both very much for coming by.
Thank you for having us.